So I went to a round one that recently opened near me yesterday. You didn't see anything. What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video. Today I just want to kind of talk through some things that I'm expecting for the rest of the year for Demon Slayer. We are kind of over the big hype of the movie coming out. It's been nearly a month since it came out here in the States and we were one of the last countries to get it. So in just a couple weeks, it'll be a month since its full global release, which means that things are kind of quieting down. There's people moving on to other animes. Chainsaw Man is coming out here in the States in a couple weeks. There's lots of other things that people are talking about. So I want to kind of take this time to actually discuss some things that we can expect for the rest of the year with Demon Slayer, if there's going to be announcements, where those announcements will be, and that sort of thing. So if you're interested, please like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, and follow me on social media. I am at Hannah Malay on Instagram and TikTok, and at lookingnerdy on X. And side note, if you don't have an X account, aka Twitter, I would highly suggest getting one if you're wanting to make sure you always are paying attention to the correct accounts. Because when it comes to anime in general, they actually tend to make most of their official announcements over there on Twitter. That's usually where they do most of it. Instagram's not super big. TikTok's not super big. They're not on Facebook. Like it's all done on Twitter. So if you are someone who wants to make sure you're getting the right information and you don't want to wait for me to make a video about it, because I always will, you definitely want to make a Twitter account and follow me there because I'll talk about it quickly. Now, I also just want to throw out a disclaimer here. This is my predictions. I am basing my predictions completely off of fact from the past. However, at the end of the day, I do not work for Aniplex. I do not work for Ufotable. I don't fully know what they're going to do, so they could change things up, but that's highly unlikely. So the first thing I do want to touch on, and kind of the main reason I decided to make this video in general, is that they recently announced that Demon Slayer is getting a stage at Jump Festa. Jump Festa always takes place the week before Christmas. I think it's on like the 21st of December, sometime around there. And everyone is already making posts about how there's gonna be new information revealed here. Now, if you've been with my channel for longer than a year, you've probably heard me say this before, but I will say it again because I did get a lot of new subscribers this year who might not know. We are not going to get information at Jump Festa. They have never once revealed information at Jump Festa. They will never do it. I am 99.9% sure they're not going to reveal anything new at Jump Festa. There's a 0.01% chance that they might change things up and they might make some kind of announcement there, but based off of the entire 5 years the anime has been running, 6 years the anime has been running, I can say with extreme confidence that we are not getting an announcement at Jump Festa. They do not make announcements at non-Demon Slayer related events. That means that if they go to Jump Festa, if they go to Anime Japan, where it's more like a convention where many animes have stages, they don't make announcements there. I don't know why. A lot of animes do. Demon Slayer never does. So they probably never will. So when you see that on Instagram, don't believe it. These are people who are posting this for engagement clicks, likes, and they make it because it gets people to get excited. And on one hand, I can say, yes, that's great. Like, it's great to get the hype up. However, we get all excited, and then when it doesn't happen, people tend to complain to Aniplex for some reason, not the people who spread the misinformation. So I will literally pay someone $100 if they make an announcement at Jump Festa. Like, that's how much I think it's not gonna happen. So no, don't expect that. Keep in mind, there is an Instagram account called Demon Slayer Official. That's not an official account. If the account is in English and it's not the Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba official English account, it is not an official account because it's Japanese. It's a Japanese production, which means all the official posts are always in Japanese first. That's a really great way to be able to determine if it's real or not, is the original post in Japanese? No, it's probably not official. Now, there is the possibility we will get something in December still. Do I think it's as possible as it has been the last 3 years? It's kind of hard to say, so let's talk about it. So for those of you who don't know, maybe you're new to the fandom or you're new to my channel and you haven't been kind of along for the ride for the past few years, they have made their first initial announcement about each new arc for the past 3 years in December. On December 10th of 2022, they announced that Swordsmith Village was going to come in April of 2023. There was like a 4-month first announcement before the season started. They also announced the world tour and a bunch of other things on this date. On December 10th of 2023, they announced that Hashira training was going to be coming in the spring of 2024. Now, something to note is that Hashira training started in May, Swordsmith Village started in April the year prior, and even though they made the announcement on the same day, the announcement was much more broad for Hashira training because they gave us the season of spring instead of the month of April, and it did not start until May. And then on December 8th of 2024, they announced that the Infinity Castle first movie was coming in 2025. They did not give a season, they did not give a date, they did not give a month, it was just the year 2025. And also note that the Infinity Castle movie did not come out in Japan until July. So each time the release date of whatever was new got a little bit farther away from that weekend, but nonetheless, for the past 3 years, we have gotten an announcement during, I think that's like the second weekend of December. Now, for 2022 and 2023, these were released with Kimetsu TV. Kimetsu TV is a quick 30-minute to hour-long segment that they usually show on the Aniplex official channel. The voice actors are usually in attendance. Tanjiro's voice actor is always there. Usually Nezuko, Zenitsu, Inosuke, maybe a few different Hashira, whatever. They're usually there. They help make the announcements. They usually make more announcements than just the upcoming arc. It's usually an announcement of events that are in Japan and that sort of thing, just kind of to close out the year and get ready for the next one. However, in 2024, when they made the announcement that the movie was coming in 2025, they did not do that. They just announced the 2025 release date with a little teaser. There was no special Kimetsu TV, no announcement of anything else, no voice actors involved. It was literally just a teaser. That was it. Now, the account that you want to pay attention to for this kind of stuff, like I mentioned earlier, is the Kimetsu official Twitter account. It looks like this. I'll put a screenshot. It's completely in Japanese because it is run by Japanese people, because Demon Slayer is made by Japanese people. I feel like we should have that understanding at this point. They are the ones who make the official announcements. Keep in mind, they do not have an official Instagram account. They do have an official TikTok that's recent, but they haven't made announcements on it. It's just been TikToks of anime clips and voice actor stuff. They haven't been making announcements there. They actually don't have an official YouTube. They play everything on the Aniplex, which is the production company YouTube channel. You want to pay attention specifically to the Kimetsu official account. This is the only place that posts official information. Anything that comes from anywhere else, unless they specifically cite the resource of the Kimetsu official account, which I will do. I always keep everyone updated. I always report on whatever's new, and I always cite the Kimetsu official account. I will always say, this comes from them, this is official. They usually will post around 1 month or a little bit less before they make an announcement that they are going to make an announcement. In 2022, I think they made the announcement that there was going to be Kimetsu TV on December 10th in October. And then I believe in 2023, they made the announcement that there was going to be Kimetsu TV in December in November. And then I believe for last year, I had a feeling they kind of did it last minute because they didn't do Kimetsu TV and it was just a date. Like they just were like, here, have a year. Like it's coming out next year, don't worry. But they announced it, I think it was around a week prior. But they will always say, on this date, we're going to hold Kimetsu TV and we are going to reveal information about the upcoming arc. Like they will literally tell us. They give us the spoiler, like, hey, be on the lookout, we will give an announcement. They did the same with, I think it was March 1st of this year is when they announced the Japanese release date of July 18th. And it was like a whole event. There was in-person stuff that was happening in Ikebukuro, like there was all kinds of stuff happening. And then they also announced that there was going to be a trailer on June 28th, which was when we got like the main trailer for the movie. So they always say something, so keep an eye on them. I would say if they have not said anything by December 1st that there is going to be information released about the anime in December, we're not gonna get anything in December. So keep an eye on them, I will keep an eye on them, and I will keep you all updated. If you don't wanna go in and make an X account, I totally understand. I try and make those posts usually the day of or the day after, depending on when they make those announcements. If it's a weekday, it takes me a little bit longer because I'm a corporate girly. I can't just record whenever I want. So that being said, here's kind of what I think is going to happen. I think getting some kind of information before the end of the year, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. First of all, there is the leak that the second movie's not coming out until 2027. Do I think that's true? I'm leaning towards maybe. I'm okay with them taking plenty of time. Will it be sad if we have to wait that long? Yes, I'll be like sad that we have to wait for a part of the story that I'm so looking forward to, but also terrified to watch animated. So maybe I do want to wait that long. But I think that given a lot of different things, that it's likely that it won't come out until 2027. I could be totally wrong. The leaking culture within Demon Slayer, a lot of it tends to be correct. So, you know, you never know. It could be 2027. I've seen people try and say it's not coming out till like 2028. I don't agree with that because that was based off of the whole, oh, it took 3.5 years to make this movie, which was kind of misinterpreted. I made a video about it. I will put it right here. But essentially what happened is they started working on the Infinity Castle backdrop 3.5 years ago because the way they were doing it in earlier seasons was going to take like 3.5 years to render it, just render it. So they couldn't do that. They had to come up with different ways. So they were working on it to try and figure out what to do, but they weren't like actually starting production on it at that time, from what I could tell from what I read. Not to mention, I don't think they would wait until the movie comes out for them to start production on the next one. I'm sure they are at least halfway through production of the next one. I'm sure the voice actors have already done their recordings. I'm sure they're in the process of animating. They might even be starting to composing music right now. Like, we just never know. That being said, I do think it's likely that it's not coming out until 2027, just based off of a lot of different factors. But I am 90% sure they are going to release the first movie episodically next year. I've heard a lot of people say that apparently Ufotable's under contract to Aniplex that they have to release one new project a year. I was not able to find anything to back that up. I can see that it's true because they have released something every single year since it started. So I can say, okay, based off of what they have done, I could see that being true, but I could not find any actual record online that says that they're under that contract. I haven't been able to find any news articles or anything. So I take that with a grain of salt, but I wouldn't be surprised if they are. So I think it is likely that sometime next year, whether summer, maybe spring, summer, or fall, we will be getting the Infinity Castle first movie released episodically. They also will be releasing the Blu-ray at some point next year. So there's a lot of things that will still happen next year. I just don't think the second movie is going to come out next year. So if they are in fact going to have an episodic release next year, I think that we could still likely get an announcement of that before the end of the year. Demon Slayer is still in theaters in Japan. I think it probably will be for at least another month there, and here at least another month. So we're talking like December will be right after the movie is officially done in box office, and they're gonna wanna wait to make any type of announcement until it's done. And they will go months without saying anything. They went at least 6 months in between the end of each season before saying anything about the next thing, except for just the confirmation that the next season was going to happen at the end of the season prior. So it could happen, it could not happen. But I do think that if they're doing the episodic release next year, I think it's likely that we might get an announcement of that before the end of the year, just to kind of close up the year. Like, okay, this was a great year. Infinity Castle did extremely well, as expected. Look forward to the episodic release next year, and maybe they'll say like it'll come in the summer or it'll come in the spring. We'll see. But I do genuinely think there will be an episodic release. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't do that. I think it'll make it more accessible to more people, and it'll get them more money, like, you know, they'll milk it a little bit, it's fine. So that's what I think they would be making announcements of. They would maybe make an announcement of some events that will be happening in Japan next year as well. But I want you to hold the expectation that if they do announce that there will be an announcement before the end of the year, it won't be at Jump Festa. It'll be its own separate Kimetsu TV or just a quick little teaser, and it probably won't be about the second movie. I don't think we'll be getting any information about the second movie until late next year, unless I'm totally wrong and it is coming out next year. I could be wrong, it might come out next year. If that happens, I'll obviously be happy, but I think the stars are kind of aligning for it to come out in 2 years, because then the third one will come out in 2029, which is 10 years after the anime started. So it makes sense. I don't really have anything to back that up outside of it makes sense and there's leaks. So we'll see. But that's kind of what we can expect for the rest of the year. I genuinely don't know if we're gonna get anything, but I will definitely keep you all updated on what we can expect. But that is gonna be it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. Also, make sure you hit subscribe. As I said, I will keep everyone updated, and I will make sure in the video you know if I'm talking about something official from the Kimetsu account, or if I'm just talking about leaks or predictions or that sort of thing. I try to make sure everything I say is not misinformation spreading. I will be very upfront and say this is not official, I am just yapping. And then I will also be very upfront. I will have screenshots from Kimetsu's official Twitter account when I record videos about any information, because I will only use them as a source. I don't use anyone else. No one else gets cited on this channel when it comes to news updates about Demon Slayer, because misinformation runs rampant in this fandom. It is everywhere, so I try to be the person that can help you all through that because a lot of it is very convincing, well-edited pictures, well-edited videos, but it all comes from Kimetsu official account. So that being said, please hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I make a new video. And with that, I'm gonna stop yapping. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Matane!